Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Bob's Angels. So this episode, as I stated last time, I was going to be fully upgrading the whole process for ore and possibly copper straight to green belt because, you know, why mess around in the middle? Let's go straight for it. So we start off making sure those belts are being produced all right. I have collected quite a few in between the episode, and I was trying to streamline it a little bit. It is still sort of stopping occasionally, but they are pretty heavily speed moduled. And we also come and set up a really messy and dodgy production of loaders all the way up to green. I really don't like this area, and I think I'm gonna have to do something about it at some point, but we get each of the loaders shoved in there. We also set up a new upgrade planner configuration just for upgrading any kind of belt, splitter or underground belt straight all the way to green, so we're not having to drag it over several times. Any of the yellow, red or blue belts that we cover with the upgrade planner will go straight to green. So yeah, it'll be used in areas where I just want to go straight to the fastest belt and not mess around, but obviously I won't use it all the time because in some places that's just going to be silly, just going straight to green. But for things like iron ore and copper, it's going to get there inevitably, so we might as well get on with it. We just need to make sure the factory is producing it fast enough. Now, this is usually something I do in between episodes, sort of just checking where belts need upgrading, because if I start upgrading quite a lot, the factory can't always keep up with how much I'm using them, and I don't really want it to be in recordings, but I've sort of decided, I've sort of thought about it over the last couple of episodes or while playing and recording the game footage, is I don't really want to do stuff in between episodes anymore. I want it to, every episode to just be raw gameplay with no preparations at all, which kind of means that, yeah, there won't be anything missed in recordings that I'm doing outside. But it does mean at times where I'm trying to do something I've planned to do, but I'm not able to keep doing it. And yeah, I have to sort of change what I really want to record in the episode. But yeah, I always try and not do too much in between episodes. From now on, right until the end, I don't want to keep anything out of the recordings. It just means I'm going to be chopping and changing what I'm doing, and I may not always get what I want to do done in that episode achieved. But the main thing we needed this episode, which I did mention at the end of last time, was we've completely run out of silicon, which means no silicon wafers, and the factory's pretty much ground to a halt. We've got quite a lot of iron ore backed up, so at the moment we don't really need it, but you'll see in a bit the issue of throughput and you know, why I want to do this so badly, why I want to get to green belt straight away and see if my layout is going to be a serious issue in the factory. So we have combination sorting for silicon laid out. We've also laid out a second combo sorting area for cobaltite, as that is just about to run out as well. The warehouse for it is empty, but yeah, it's slowly running out down the belt. Where we got that from before was from the slag slurry processing. I had a couple of the buildings producing that particular recipe that includes cobaltite. I think there's 3 ores in that recipe. So we managed to build up quite a stockpile because I started that way before we were using it, but we're using it quite a lot in the lithium ion batteries, which are getting used quite a bit now. So yeah, I get that set up as well, and I have to save another copy of this setup into the Foreman mod, as I've done it before, or at least I thought I'd done it before, but I couldn't see it in there, so I just get that saved in again, just for when we start running out of other ores as well, because there's a few more combo sorting I'll need to set up. It's just to what extent I'll be using those ores and you know, is it really urgent? So it'll depend on that. So while we're up here, we come and start having a look at upgrading to green belt. And I think I have loads, but we'll see. I start upgrading this area. This is the most important bit, getting the ore out of the station. And I probably need to do the loaders in as well, but we haven't had any loaders delivered yet. And we've already run out of my stockpile of belt. So I didn't fully realise how much belt I'm actually going to need this episode. I mean, that area is probably the most expensive bit in terms of belts. I just kind of want to get the Javolite and Sapphirite done today. So it'll be less expensive when we get to that bit. But yeah, that first bit has depleted all of the green I had on me. And the factory has already produced a load more, but we want to let it catch up again. One thing that was lost when I stupidly deleted those saves, which I'll try not to keep going on about, is the upgrading of the stack inserters at the station. I haven't done them to Express yet. And I kind of wanted to do it in this video because before I did it out of the video to show the upgrade planner with the shift update, which Zombie kindly told me about. Thank you so much for that. It's such a lifesaver. But when I came to do it, I forgot to go and hold shift and went and messed up a load of the express stack inserter positions. So we come and sort that out with the 50 that I did have on me. But I'll finish the rest of that at some point. Now, the last ones that I placed, I'd run out, didn't get placed, and I think most of the episode they sit there waiting to be replaced, and they don't because the factory is completely starved of any silicon. So no inserters are being produced because there's no circuits, and it'll take a while for that silicon to work its way around the system. And again, they're all yellow belts. They're belts I probably could be upgrading. But yeah, there's due to this layout, this is kind of the problem with the layout of this factory, is just belts. Tons and tons of belts are needed. But I kind of wanted a belt heavy factory anyway. I usually go quite bot heavy because as soon as you've got bots, you kind of save material in a way by getting bots to carry stuff everywhere. There's the one cost for the bots where with belts, you need a belt for every product, you know, and at some points you may not even be using that product where a bot can go and transfer anything. So there's a benefit in that way of going bot heavy. It's just the amount of power bots use is understandable. So we come down and have a look at silicon just to try and speed the process up. We get productivity modules in the silicon plates and then in the silicon wafers, or wafers, as I like to pronounce them. But we also get some speed modules in beacons and get the whole process massively accelerated. I should really get these two belts fully upgraded, but for now we just get them so they're fully saturated with some blue belt, and just make sure it's red all the way down to at least the logistics section so we can keep those fully saturated. But we are starting to get silicon through to the circuits. I randomly get this bit upgraded to green for the transistors for no real reason, and then I come and have another look at the belt production because that area isn't absolutely perfect. It's still a bit naff. I could rebuild it, but yeah, I still haven't bothered, and if I'm not going to do it, I should probably stop going on about it. And we've run out of green belt again because I thought maybe we should take silicon all the way up to green, but again we don't have enough. We're just not producing it fast enough in the factory, and one of the reasons why it's so slow is a lack of lubrication for the blue stage of belts. I think that's what was slowing it down. So I come and take the ammunition out from the direct access to the fluid, so it's going through the pump, which has a circuit condition on. I think I upped the circuit condition as well, or at least I should have. We also make sure there's modules in the lubrication, production, raw and speed in a beacon. We also come and look at putting raw into the normal refineries because we want that to be as efficient as we can. We also speed it up. I'm not too bothered about getting it into the cracking because we've got, I think the thing we're capped on the most is petroleum, so we want to be using as much petroleum as we can. And then in turn, I just come and make sure we're using a load of plastic, because the more plastic we're using, we should get more heavy oil coming through from the refineries. So we come and have a look up at the various circuit production, which all seems fairly okay. We're slightly behind on transistors, but to try and increase the use of plastic, I come and get some beacons in with speed modules just to speed this process up. And then we get some productivity, raw productivity into the system because we've got it everywhere else. So we might as well be as productive as we can. But again, those belts for the transistors will need speeding up. So the problem with these upgrade episodes is I have an idea to do one thing, which was to speed up iron, and then I get distracted. I just start doing half jobs. So I've updated half the silicon belts. I've done some of the belts for sapphirite and javolite, but not all the way, which is kind of pointless. It's not going to make a difference. Now I've got distracted again, and I'm looking at the belt for the various Bob's ores, which there should really be 4 of. That was spaced out so that there's space for 4, which I really do need to get around placing, and I get that done so far, but again, not far enough to actually improve the problems. We then go and upgrade the belt for the crushed stone liquefaction because we're nearly through our stockpile of stone. There is still some slag stockpiled up that I really need to move. I think I may have set the bots to do it with a requested chest or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not something I've really looked at. And again, I'm just getting distracted. One of the shortfalls are the logic boards. So I think they're the logic boards, not the electronic ones. They're green. But yeah, we get the belts upgraded for those so they can get into the logistics system a bit quicker because they're being used immediately, and yeah, they're kind of not getting where they need to go. So we had a look at why we're not getting green loaders, which we need. There's no point updating the belts without green loaders, and that's because of no purple loaders, which is down to no purple splitters, and that's down to no electronic circuit boards. Sorry, electronic circuit boards, that's what it was, not logic boards. So we have a look at that, and they're coming through. We've upgraded the belt for them. Just need to be a little bit patient. So I decided to go and change from the normal sciences that we were doing and finally get the rest of the module science done, because it shouldn't take too long, and we haven't really done very much of it. So we get all the module science queued up, because this will increase our use of plastic massively and hopefully get us a bit more heavy oil for lubricant. So we come and stick some speed modules in for the actual labs themselves. We also get some raw productivity into the labs. Now, same with the science labs. I'm not sure if this actually does anything, because it doesn't show the productivity bar, but then I guess it wouldn't when it's using multiple items like that. So I'm just assuming the productivity actually is being applied and we're getting more out of the modules going into there for the science, I'm guessing. I don't really know, but we noticed there's a slight short of transistors that are getting into the logistics system. I've just noticed I do need to get some raw productivity into those and possibly some speed, but the main shortage is the tinned copper wire, which I need to get the belts updated. I should really get them updated to green, but even then I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. What I may have to do is extend the column making the tinned copper wire like I've done with various other products and have them put directly into the logistics system, and then have the bots bring it over, because very soon, I know I keep mentioning it, very soon I will be going straight from Mark II logistics and construction robots to Mark IV. I have a bit of a habit of skipping certain things. If you've got the materials to do it, you might as well just skip to the fastest one, because it's going to be a load of palaver getting all the old bots out of the system. I'll probably be doing it with just a couple of passive providers with filter inserters, and just have them take out any of the bots we don't want to be using. Of course, once I've got a couple of hundred of the Mark IVs in first, so that they can run everything while we take all the old ones out of the system. So I was kind of planning on not having to deal with any attacks this episode. I did do a tiny little bit of prep on defenses just to check everything was happy as Larry. But happy as Larry, what the hell does that mean? But yeah, one wall I overlooked, which still hasn't been upgraded to laser, is the northwest wall near Sapphirite, which has managed to survive for such a long time without any intervention from myself, and it has had to deal with pollution attacks as well. So this isn't just sit here dealing with any caravans trying to repopulate, it's dealing with attacks triggered by pollution. And I honestly haven't been up here in an extremely long time to come and reload it. Quite amazed at how long this area has managed to survive without any assistance from me. It's got no roboports or robots to come and repair it. So yeah, it's done amazingly well, considered that it gets pollution attacks. So I come and put in some Mark IV lasers. I think we're on now. I always get the marks mixed up in my head, because I can't ever quite remember if the base one is Mark 1 or not. But whatever, that doesn't really matter. So we come and get some Mark IV laser turrets in, whichever the purple ones are. But we leave in the old defenses as a backup. We may as well. I don't really need to repurpose these sniper turrets anywhere. So we just come and plonk the laser turrets right in front of the snipers. So even if we run out of power and there's a big attack here, the sniper turrets can continue doing a fantastic job that they've done already. And we just come along and make sure all of the sniper turrets are reloaded. We come and take out the random group of turrets that I put in here ages ago, and while we're doing so, there's a proper burst of module science being completed. It was quite fast when I was recording, but obviously even faster now at 3 times speed. I come and add a few extra laser turrets at the end here, because this is where the attacks are most concentrated, so I get in as many as I can. Sadly, I didn't bring any landfill, because it would be nice to fill in that little bit of water there just to get some extra laser turrets in, but I can always come back and do that at another time if it does become a problem. And while we're here, we also add some raw productivity and beacons with speed modules to the very first oil outpost, just to get as much out of it as we can, because I've left it here anyway, so we might as well give it a bit more purpose and get that in. There is the one other oil outpost, I need to add raw and speed productivity to. The largest one, crude 3, I think I already did. I might have got carried away in between an episode and I did it, or did I do it last episode in the recording and forgot to actually mention it? I can't remember which happened. So we had a look at the cobaltite and silicon production, and we're short on a few various things in the miscellaneous sorting. So we come and upgrade these areas with speed beacons and some better belts. Again, I could probably go straight for green, but without better loaders, there's probably no point at the moment. But I think what I'll do in between the episodes, I know I said I wasn't going to do anything. I could do it at the start of next episode, actually, is just have a look at green belt production again and just see if I can just streamline it a little bit further. But I believe we do have a look at some point in the episode, and the shortfall now, again, is iron. So I think once we've got the iron combo sorting at maximum speed and getting that ore down to the smelting area, because that seems to be what the shortfall is just getting the iron either from the buffer chest or once that's run out from the combo sorting area, seems to be just getting the iron through. The first iron smelting row isn't even getting a third utilized when we're getting a full flow of iron ore coming through. So if we could get just that first row fully utilized, I think that's going to give us nearly 3 full belts anyway. And then I can finally upgrade that last iron row. Yes, it's still on steel smelters, but once we start getting enough iron through, we can justify upgrading that one to electronic and probably adding another 2 belts of iron plates to the main bus just for the blue science, because that absolutely hoovers the iron up, and then any that doesn't get used by there, those 2 belts can continue to pass it on like the other 4. So continuing with the theme of getting continuously distracted by various things that need doing, I noticed the aluminium belt is not even fully saturated and it's a yellow belt, so there's seriously a bit of a shortage of aluminium there. So we come down, get some multi-purpose furnaces in for the alumina, and then the latest version of electrolyzers in, which I don't even think we've used anywhere yet. I got the setup for their production done last episode, but we didn't actually put any out. So we come and try and get the belts updated for that and get raw modules in and speed modules, and then try and get the aluminium belt all set up. So we've finished the module science. It's all done. That was pretty quick. I've hardly touched it up to the level 4 of modules that I've wanted, and then I've not really touched it since then. So we've just gone and done that all in what I think I started it a quarter of the way into the episode. We're now sort of 3/4 through, so yeah, it only took us half an episode to get all that module stuff done. So running along with the theme of doing a ridiculous amount of science is I queue up all the remaining alien science next, and as you can see, that's going ridiculously fast because that's already been beaconed up. And yeah, we have an onslaught of completed science. We've been doing science very slow lately up until now. We just absolutely tear our way through the alien science, which gradually starts to slow down. But we get the aluminum. What is it with my speech today? We get the aluminium or aluminum, depending on where you're from. I don't even know why I'm bringing this debate up. Upgraded to blue as far as we can, but we go and have a look to see why it's not being delivered again by the logistics system. And it's again a lack of lubricant, but this is of course due to a train jam. I've not put in enough signals here, and the trains have arrived in such a way that one has blocked the other, and it's caused a bit of a jam on the train system. But we get both crude oil trains through and get the crude back into the system to be processed. And we take a quick look just to make sure the oil's flowing through all right. And to be honest, I could probably take another look at this area to try and improve throughput. But looking at one of the refineries, it's going pretty fast already. And we're only on raw productivity and speed 4. We can look at getting these updated to 6 now. So past me comes to have a look at getting that set up. I believe we should be able to get to 8, but we're going to need to upgrade our assemblers to be able to produce them. So I just come and quickly lay out production for raw productivity 6, but another module that I've been meaning to add production for is raw speed as well. It comes in Bob's Mods. I kind of feel a tiny bit cheaty using it because it basically does the same thing as the speed and productivity, but it's the raw speed and raw productivity, but you have none of the downsides, none of the extra power usage or the slowdown effect, for example, from the productivity. But it's in Bob's Mods and it's there, so I'm going to use it anyway because this is a Bob's Angels run through. So we get it in, we get the production done. I don't up the values of the requesters, which I probably could, which will help speed up production, but we're going to start getting raw speed in as well as raw productivity so we can save a bit on power. I might even get some of the power efficiency modules in as well, maybe one per beacon, just to drastically reduce the amount of power usage. So I come and have a look at automating the production of the final mark of assemblers. I skip again, sticking with the theme of skipping purple. I go straight for the production of green because we have all the materials we need for it, and there's no point having a whole extra stage of upgrading. We can just go straight to green where we need it, and soon we'll have raw productivity 8 and raw speed 8 as well. Sorry, my speech is absolutely terrible today. We also come and add production of, is it tungsten carbide plates, because we'll need those for the last kind of assembler. So I come and just shoehorn it in with the tungsten production. Kind of makes the most sense. If we get some raw productivity in there and speed modules, then yeah, they shouldn't really need to have a belt spanning half the distance of the factory just to get it over here. So we get that added in as well. And I kind of plan to end the recording here, and then I keep noticing things I'd missed. I hadn't done a passive provider for the green loader, which after the other various things stopping it is probably why I wasn't getting any delivered, because I did spend the episode trying to get them delivered. And I also try and have a look at why iron isn't getting through, and it's those lovely priority splitters giving priority to the blue science. But then I end looking at this area because I think I've had enough of it. I am going to rebuild it either in between episode or the start of next episode. I'll just see how it goes. That's going to be all we have time for this episode. I think I will rebuild it next episode, but I'll do it at like 4 or 5 times speed. But yeah, I do hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and please do come and join me in the next episode. Bye bye.